"Oh, we can't do anything about this. Our hands are tied. It's policy." Those are weasel words. Those are the anti-leadership words and sentiments. And when you hear those words, what you're witnessing is a leadership fail. Don't be that person. I'd rather hear, we've evaluated the situation, we've decided we're not making any changes, and here are the reasons for it. Those are honest words. They may indicate a lack of leadership capability, but not a lack of honesty. And to me, that's something at least. I'm Andrew from Threshold Learning, and for those of you who are just new to our videos, we develop leaders to their full potential. Leadership is rewarding, leadership is humbling, leadership is also hard. We can teach you the knowledge and help you develop the skills, and that's not how or where it's really hard. Where it's hard is because as a leader, you're the one who has to make the decisions that will directly affect your team members. Have you ever had a leader that was constantly failing to take ownership for those unpopular decisions, or worse, blaming somebody else senior for the policies or for not acting? It's a trick question. Those aren't leaders though. Those are people who are occupying leadership positions. They may have leader or manager in the title, but they're not actually leaders. I'll paraphrase Colin Powell. And he basically says, the day your people stop bringing you their problems is the day you've stopped leading them. They've either lost confidence that you can help them or concluded that you do not care. Either way is a failure of leadership. And those are strong words, but that's true. That's what happens if you don't communicate your actions and decisions not to do anything. It could look like an action. You need to have the confidence in your own decision to say, hey, look, we've listened, I've heard what you said, here's why we can't act, or here's why we can't do it the way you want to, and talking about what you think the problems that you actually need to deal with right now. It could be really simple. One of your team members comes to you with a request for a pay raise, but the policy is that you're in a pay freeze for the next 18 months. What if a few members of your team individually come to you because they feel that the company's new policy on on-call time and vacation is unfair? What do? Your people bring you problems and issues that they can't address or solve on their own. So if as the leader you decide not to do anything about it, you've made that decision. Even if you just think you're diverting or delaying, you've made the decision however you justify it. Sometimes you can't do anything about it, and that's okay. What you need to do is acknowledge the problem, acknowledge that you can't act right now, and give them a time when you are going to act. You don't get a blank check on that timeline. You don't get an easy solution. What do you have to do? First thing you need to do is communicate your decision and explain the rationale behind it. The second one is make recommendations for a way forward, and the third one is to follow up and follow through. So let's take it from the top. Communicate your decision, even if it's a decision not to do anything, and explain the rationale behind it. Be prepared. Your guys are going to have objections. Your team members are going to feel like you're not doing what they need. Be able to explain why. Make recommendations for the way forward. Here's what you can do. Here's what you can do to lessen the impact. Here's what's within your power. What should your team member do? What information do you need, or can you pass on to them? Is it an issue of timing? Communicate these things. And the third step is to follow up and follow through. Just because you've made a decision, it doesn't mean the problem's gone away, right? You need to follow up on the situation. Have things gotten worse? Is there a different timing required? If you set a different timing, you need to honor that. As a leader, you get to make those decisions. You also have to own those decisions. Sometimes they're hard. You don't have to develop your leadership voice in a vacuum though. Check out the links below, check out our blog, and understand there are so many people in leadership roles who are more interested in their authority rather than the responsibility. I'd love to hear your stories, good and bad, about your leadership experiences. So take a moment, share those stories in the comments below. Thanks.